Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to another week of the great outdoors. I'm outside in my backyard. Can you see some trees? Can you hear some cicadas? They're kind of loud by my house. Are they loud by your house? If you go outside, kind of like after dinner time, maybe right before you go to bed, you'll hear them really loud. Well, this week, we are not learning about insects like you did last time with me. This time, we're going to learn about woodland animals. Now, these are just animals that live in forests or in woodlands. Someplace maybe you would camp sometimes. You might see some of these animals. And actually, you might see some of these animals in your backyard. When we go through, I bet you'll say, "Hey, I've seen that animal before." Here's one of those animals, a squirrel. Have you seen a squirrel by your house? Maybe a brown squirrel, maybe a black squirrel. Have any of you ever seen a gray squirrel? I've never seen a gray squirrel. Sometimes the brown squirrels look a little gray to me, but I have a fun song about gray squirrels. Do you think you could sing the song with me? Here's what we need to do first. We need to get our squirrel practice ready. Do you know how to practice being a squirrel? What do they like to eat a lot? Acorns and nuts. If that's what you said, you are right. So you are going to pretend to be a squirrel and get your little acorn or your nut and put it close by your mouth like this. Sometimes they make that sound. Okay, I have my little nut. I'm ready to be a squirrel. Wait a minute. There's another important part to a squirrel. They have a long, bushy tail. This song is going to be about a gray squirrel with a bushy tail. Can you shake your bushy tail? You can't see my tail, and I'm not going to show you my tail, but I want you to shake your bushy tail. Are you ready? Okay, so the words go like this. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Wrinkle up your little nose. Put a nut between your toes. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Good singing. Let's try it one more time. This time you get to sing with me. Get your nut and your bushy tail. Here we go. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Wrinkle up your little nose. Put a nut between your toes. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Great singing! Now, sometimes squirrels like to run and they like to play games with each other. I've seen squirrels crawling along the fence, then they crawl up the tree, and they climb as high as they can, and they jump and they run around. In your packet for this week, you have a couple of games to go with our woodland animals this week. And one of those is with stamps. So you should have 2 stamps in your packet. You should have a paper that looks kind of like this, which is very wacky. And you should have a little paper that looks like this. And it says, Woodland Animal, Roll and Stamp. Which animal will you roll the most? Use this chart to stamp your rolls. Okay, now you might be thinking, what am I supposed to roll? That's where this page comes into play. You need a grown-up to help you because there's a lot of cutting on this. But you and your grown-up can work together and you're going to cut out this fancy dice. It's pretty awesome. So I'm going to cut it out really quick. And then I'm going to put it all together. And then we're going to practice rolling it so you can kind of see how it's going to work. So here we go. I'm only going to cut on the dark lines. There's some lines that have dashes. I'm not going to cut on those lines. I'm going to fold on those lines. So I'm cutting out this long part at the bottom. And I'm going to cut this little flap off down here. because that's easy to get off. Ready? Here I go. Shoop. It's gone. Okay. Now I'm going to cut around the edge. I'm going to get these little triangles at the end because sometimes that's easier for me. Cut that part off. There it goes. Here's this part. Cut inside. Cut outside. Whoop. There's another square gone. Now I'll cut this side off. And I'll cut this side off. I'm almost there. I have to get this bottom part. Okay, now I have all these little tiny triangles. Do you see those little tiny triangles? I have to cut those parts off too. So here I go. Cut, 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 cut. I'm doing it kind of quick so you can see. So it might be a little bit of messy cutting. But your grown-ups are going to be very helpful to you for this cutting part. You can help with the folding part. Cut little triangles, cut little triangles, cut little triangles, cut little triangles. Can you hear the cicadas even more? Can you hear my neighbors? There's lots of sounds that you can hear outside your house. I'm cutting off this part. Oh, we're almost there. Okay, now here's the part where you can help a lot. Do you see all these folds? I have to fold on the line. So I'll show you while I fold it. I fold it, and then I give it a little pinch. And then I fold this one. Give it a little pinch. Look, it's starting to form a little box. Now I'm going to fold this one. And I'm going to fold this one. It's lots of folding. And I'm going to fold this one. And there's all these little tiny flaps. That a grown-up might have to help you do too. And these are what's going to keep the dice together. So I'm folding them backwards just so they hide. Do you see how they're all hiding? Oop. And we're going to fold this guy down. Here he goes. Fold, fold, fold. Okay. I fold this in. Fold, fold, fold. This in. And this last one. Now here's the best part. You're going to put it all together and it's going to make a dice. So I'm going to put these two sides in like this. And I'm going to put the top in and that part in. Now you might have to use a little tape or a little glue to keep it together, because if I let go, watch, it doesn't stay a dice. But you are going to use this dice and your little stamps. So you're going to stamp an animal. Maybe you'll stamp this animal. A fox. Maybe you got a fox stamp. So you'll put a fox stamp here, maybe a fox stamp here, and a fox stamp here. Now there's 3 more sides after you do 3 fox stamps. Maybe in your packet you also got this animal stamp. Did you get a bear stamp? So now on the other sides, where there's no fox stamp, you're going to do a bear, a bear, a bear. Okay? So we have our dice. You're going to take this dice and you're going to roll it. And you're going to see whatever animal lands on top. Now remember, I don't have the stamps, so I can't show you which animal I rolled on top. But whichever one you rolled on top, maybe it was this one, the bear. You're going to take your bear stamp and stamp right there. I found one bear. And you're going to roll it again. Guess what? Another bear. So we'll do another bear stamp. Then we're going to roll it again. Guess what I got this time? A fox, you're right. So I'm going to put my fox stamp right here. And I'm going to keep rolling until I see which animal gets to the end first. So we had 2 bears and a fox. I wonder who would win in my game. You're going to have fun with this game with your families. I think so. Hey, remember that Gray Squirrel song that we just sang? Let's try that one again. Can you sing it with me? Before the light turns off outside and then it's very dark. Let's do it. Here we go. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Wrinkle up your little nose, put a nut between your toes. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Nice singing. So, we did a little singing. We did a little game playing. Now I want to see if you know what all of the woodland animals are. In your packet you have some cards, like I've been showing you, the bear and the fox. And some of you might have different cards than others. So I want to see, we want to make sure we know all the woodland animals. So I'm going to give you some clues, and then you have to guess which animal I'm going to hold up. Are you ready? Okay. So here's my clue. First clue is I'm a small animal. I'm very cute, but I also have spikes on my back. Small, cute, with spikes on my back. I'll give you a little bit to guess. Did you guess hedgehog? If you guessed hedgehog, you're right. A small, cute, but spiky animal that lives in the woods. And next, this week, our next video, we're going to get to see a real hedgehog. It's very exciting. Okay, here's my next clue. I'm a big animal. Sometimes I might seem scary, but sometimes in books, I like to eat honey. Big, might seem scary, but I like to eat honey, sometimes in books. Did you guess a bear? You're right, it's a bear. This is a brown bear. Brown bears are kind of small. Black bears are kind of small. Medium. Grizzly bears, those are the big ones. Okay, here's my next animal. I am small. I live sometimes in your backyard. And I'm orange. Small, sometimes in your backyard, and orange. Oh, here's my last clue. I live in a den. Did you guess a fox? You're right. I'm a fox. Two more. I like to come out at night. That's the first clue. I'm gray and black and white. Second clue. And I have a mask that looks like this. Did you guess a raccoon? You're right! It is a raccoon! Here's our last woodland animal. I stand very tall with 4 legs. Sometimes I have spots on my back, and sometimes I have antlers. Stand tall with 4 legs, spots on my back, and antlers. Did you guess a deer? If you guessed a deer, you're right. Great job. That was pretty fun. Thank you so much for joining me today for our Woodland Animal Day 1 video. I hope you're having so much fun with your games and your packets, and I hope you're having so much fun this summer with your families, enjoying the great outdoors. Would you sing with me a goodbye song? Goodbye, 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 my friends, to you. God bless you everywhere you go and all you say and do. Goodbye, 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 my friends, to you. God bless you everywhere you go and all you say and do. Nice job. I'll see you Thursday.